It's 5th of July today. Two news stories. Prime Minister of Ethiopia today claimed that in 2 to 3 weeks he can mobilize 100,000 trained, armed, and organized special forces. Secondly, an international news outlet is claiming that according to TPLF officials, 30,000 TDF fighters are waiting in Sudan to join the fight. Let's look at the first news story. Prime Minister of Ethiopia Abiy Ahmed appeared in Ethiopian Parliament today. We were waiting for his response to 7 conditions laid out by Tigray People Liberation Front about ceasefire in Tigray, but he did not talk about the 7 points mentioned yesterday by Tigray's government in a statement. Instead, he talked about several things, but I'll brief you about mainly 2 points first. Firstly, he talked about Ethiopian economy. He said Ethiopian economy is on the right path. Exports have risen by 18%. Foreign direct investment is one of the top in Africa now. And thirdly, he said that debt to GDP ratio has declined from 37% to 26%. Several other numbers he mentioned. So he summed up by saying that Ethiopian economy was on the right path that he was delivering as Prime Minister of Ethiopia. Then he talked about Tigray views. He said that consultations about the withdrawal of ENDF from Tigray started several weeks ago before the actual withdrawal. He said 3 sessions were held within 1 month. And after these sessions, it was decided that ENDF must withdraw from Tigray. He said Ethiopian government decided to pull ENDF out of Tigray because ENDF had achieved 3 main goals. Firstly, according to Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Ethiopian National Defense Forces have taken back heavy weaponry which was seized by TPLF members when they stormed Northern Command on the 3rd of November. And secondly, he said that main leaders of TPLF have been arrested. And thirdly, he said that TPLF government, TPLF members, they were trying to divide Ethiopian society. So this operation led to decrease in the effects of TPLF's attempts to divide Ethiopian society. That is why, according to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, this operation in Tigray was a success. And lastly, he said that manpower is not a problem for Ethiopian National Defense Forces. He said that within 2 to 3 weeks, we can easily mobilize 100,000 trained, organized special forces. Within 1 to 2 months, we can recruit 500,000 soldiers. And we can easily mobilize 1 million Ethiopian youths for Ethiopian National Defense Forces. So he said that Ethiopian National Defense Forces were not short of manpower. Now, time will tell whether this operation was a success or not. But so far, we know that war is not over. Tension is still there in Tigray. Now, our second news story, an important news story. An international news outlet is claiming that according to TPLF officials, 30,000 TDF fighters are waiting in Sudan to join the fight. Name of the international news outlet is FT, the Financial Times. FT has published a report today. According to the report, a TPLF official claimed that more than 30,000 TDF fighters are waiting in Sudan and they can join anytime. But and the newspaper further says that TPLF officials claim that capturing Western Tigray is not a problem militarily, but TDF and TPLF want to ensure that Sudan Tigray border is opened. Now, are there 30,000 TDF fighters waiting in Sudan? We heard of TDF fighters present in Sudan, viewers. When this war started in November, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Ethiopian government claimed that TDF fighters were crossing into Sudan. After the massacre of Maikadra in the second week of November, Ethiopian government had claimed that Samri militia of TPLF was behind this massacre, and its members, Samri militia members, had run and they had crossed into Sudan. Then, viewers, in April this year, Amhara region's governor issued a statement. He had said that Sudan was involved in providing weapons and military training to TDF fighters on Sudanese soil. And after a few days of the statement, Tesfaye Iyalo, ENDF general, held a press conference. In the press conference, ENDF general had said that hundreds of TPLF members had tried to cross into Ethiopia from Sudan via Humera border crossing, and Ethiopian National Defense Forces had killed more than 300 of these TPLF members. According to Brigadier General Tesfaye Iyalo, more than 300 TDF members were armed by Sudanese military, and they had some communication devices which they wanted to deliver to TPLF leaders inside Tigray. So their main mission was to transport communication devices from Sudan into Tigray. Of course, TPLF rejected these allegations. So we have been hearing about the presence of TDF fighters in Sudan. Now, there are thousands of Tigrayan refugees in Sudan, viewers. There are more than 70,000 Tigrayan refugees in Sudan. So these 30,000 TDF fighters, are they refugees? Or they are, apart from these refugees, they are fighters, they are not refugees. It's not clear, viewers. But another question would be, can Tigray's refugees in Sudan join this fight if this war spreads to border areas? Because thousands of Tigrayans are in camps which are very close to Tigray-Sudan border areas, on Sudan side of the border. So if this war spreads to border areas, can these refugees join TDF fighters? It's also a question, viewers. These refugees have suffered a lot because of this war. So we might see them joining as well this war. And when TPLF is saying that 30,000 TDF fighters are in Sudan, it might be talking about these refugees, that they would join this fight when the war will spread to Tigray-Sudan border. Sudan's role is very crucial, and we'll see in coming days that if TDF launch a full-scale offensive on Western Tigray, Sudan's role will become very crucial. I think.